a little quick question about the Winston Peters thing as well. He didn't seem to be really completely corpus mentis when he was delivering that speech. I don't want to. I'm not trying to talk about. I'm not being ageist, but over 150 countries before it. Who says 150? 150? I mean, how's Winston going when it comes to being? I'm actually asking a genuine question. I'm not trying to take the piss, but not being as sharp as he was.
Yeah, I think. I mean, one of the things we've noticed, and I think that's sort of why we saw old J.R. Shane Jones be made the deputy, is because he is no longer doing those long speeches. I don't know if you've had a look, but when he hasn't done a 10-minute speech for quite some time. He's still very witty because we sit right beside him now. Oh, the dynamics are just wonderful. And to be really honest, there's a lot to learn from his style. He's so quick when it comes to the point of orders and so quick, but still extremely witty. But if you really watch him, he's not doing the long things. And I guess he's the same age as my dad. So yeah, my papa's stopped being. He doesn't do pie stuff now like he used to. So yeah, but still extremely sharp. But I guess too, I'm going to try and say this as respectful as I can. You feel like you're debating and hearing from someone who was born a long time ago and who was born in an era where there's been lots of change. And you feel that sometimes I've got aunties who are 70s and 80s and they live in households with 2 or 3 generations and they're still really upbeat and they're still because I think those rangatahi keep them going and their conversation, the whole way they view their tolerance for rangatahi and actually the acceptance of their mokopuna is really beautiful. You feel like you have a person that is has been born 80 plus years ago and not really been in company that's grown or challenged him. He's been the top of his game. He commands that top, but he doesn't have a whole bunch of rangatahi or kids bowling into his house. He takes to kura that he goes out on wānanga with. The hanas that just grow us all the time. You just get a sense that sadly, he hasn't grown past this certain era. And I guess that's what I see. So you see the bigotry, you see the discrimination, the revolting anti-trans, the stuff, because again, he represents an era and he's not been tested or challenged in real life by 100 mokos and rangatahi at a kura or kohanga bowling in on his office. He's commanded a presence in a state, and he's a statesman that has been very sterile. He hasn't had his whole environment's been very manicured and very set, and that's what you feel like you're around.
Yeah, he's always sat in the big chair for the last 30 or 40 years. He's always been in the big chair.
Yeah, and that's an honor. He's worked really hard. I'm certainly not putting that down. Just I think, I can have a conversation, for example, with my auntie Bib, who lives with her granddaughter and her great grandchildren, who has a daughter coming in and out, who goes to Pātea Māori Club with us, who's da-da-da, and she's just upbeat. Her whole, language, she knows what's going on with everybody. So her whole depth of understanding and humanity, her empathy, her kindness is just different. Her tolerance for things is just, and I think that's exactly why we need to have mechanisms and support to help bring other thinking into that place, because it's a dangerous place if you've always been in the big seat and you don't have anyone else around you. You're untouchable, and and that's not a cool way to be governed.
It's that idea of, if you want to have like a healthy progression in life, if you're the smartest person in the room, it's time to find another room. You know what I mean? And then if you're the smartest person in that room, it's really healthy to find another room so you can learn and grow and that sort of thing. But Paul, I mean,
I have a view. We learn until the day we pass and then continue. And I think, I guess it's just how static your mind is and your growth. So you can be really great at something if that's all you're in. But I want to be great at lots of things. So, yeah. Anyway.